do.
Emily, well done.
Sorry.
If you come over here,
I don't understand why we don't act for you. We should be acting for you.
some of the other speakers. So Emily, I just grabbed you at the National Fruit Show. Can you just tell everyone who you are, please?
Sure, I'm Emily O'Brien and I'm spokesperson for the Green Party on food, agriculture and rural welfare.
And why I wanted to grab you is, I'm not sure if you're aware, but there's been a lot happening politically over the last 9 months. And it just feels that there's going to be, in the next 18 months to 2 years, there's going to be change of guard. And this sector is quite often described as relatively conservative, but we now need to start talking to and collaborating with perhaps other political parties.
Thank you very much.
Well, yeah, I mean, we have, I think originally the Green Party was seen as quite kind of urban and rural based, but actually we have quite a number of more rural people involved. I mean, I'm a councillor, a Green Party councillor for a rural ward. I'm also, as a councillor, representative for the local government association on a rural board. And I think, really what we need to see are some, I think there is a lot of disillusionment with government policy, and what we want more than anything else is certainty, I think.
And also, Emily, the fact that you're here at the National Fruit Show, and the fact that you made a lot of sense in what you were saying, to me, you more than passed any sort of perceived audition, and again that's why we need to engage with the likes of yourself and the Green Party. But the Green Party, what could they do for UK agriculture, UK horticulture? You've already heard of some of the issues that we've got, whether it be food waste, whether it be retail pressure, whether it be labour pressure. Are you the magic elixir that we're all looking for?
The problem is when you start looking at food and farming, it's a big system, isn't it? And we've had a really interesting discussion today talking about how many bits of it aren't working quite right. It's not working for food producers, it's not working for consumers. We have a massive food poverty issue where people literally can't afford to put food on the table for their families. We have the food waste issues, we have the climate change, so there isn't like a one-size-fits-all solution. But I think what we can really bring in terms of the Green Party is the idea that sometimes you need to join up the dots. So I think we heard a lot today about silos, about this bit of government's looking at that. We've got a health crisis, but couldn't we take some of the money from the future billions that we're storing up in terms of health crisis and invest that into our farming system now?
Spot on. We did a broadcast last night on Women in Food and Farming with a fantastic speaker from NIA who was saying that the biggest thing that's slowing them up is inward investment from government to release the likes of genetics, for more R&D in the field of genetics. And there's the Dutch system where they all talk about academia, work and government, and they have this lovely virtuous circle they call the Dutch diamond, and we don't have it because in effect the government system here is a bit broken.
Yeah.
So actually if we
and there are opportunities though. I mean, we had the government food strategy come forward last year. I think that was really widely welcomed by many, and what it did was take a joined up approach, looking at health, looking at food poverty, looking at food production, and I think we really need to revisit that. It was very disappointing the government, despite commissioning the study, really haven't responded effectively.
It's kicked into long grass because we've had a bit of a zombie government the last 6 months.
And I think, I suppose there's also something, I think the kind of elephant in the room around food production is clearly food production has to be subsidised in this country. We don't have the scale and the economies that would allow us to be self-sufficient in food. So we are committed to doing that. But what we don't really talk about is how we best spend those. I hate calling them subsidies. In other industries we talk about investment, but it's how we invest best and how we do join up the dots.
Well done. That's one of the first things that you said in your intro, that it should not be subsidies. It should be about investment into the sector because we need it, because the more fresh produce that people eat, the more healthy they'll be and the less of a burden on the likes of the NHS.
And indeed all the benefits for our land and nature as well. I think we don't have a system that recognises that makes the polluter pay, as it were. So, if we do import our food, obviously, if we have a locally produced burger, that's a very different from a pasture-fed cow. That's very different than an imported burger from Brazil on some denuded rainforest land. But we don't have anything within our system that allows us to pay the extra for that. So the cost is all borne by the rest of us in terms of poor health, poor environment, climate change, and indeed, the nature crisis as well.
Emily, how can we find out more about you and your party?
So the Green Party has a website, like everyone. Do have a look at what we do. You're welcome to join us. We have a really massively growing membership actually, in a time when many people are becoming disillusioned with politics. I think quite a lot of people are quite keen on doing politics a bit differently. I think a lot of us maybe have come to the Green Party not from a career politician background, or we'd have probably picked another party. We're doing it because we care and because we have knowledge and expertise, and we want to see systems done a little bit differently.
Well done, because you care and you have knowledge and you have expertise. Brilliant.
Lovely.
Emily,
Thank you.
thank you.